Hi, and welcome back to another video of me giving my experiences on Italki, but this time as a teacher. I'm going to continue to make videos on my experience as a student on Italki and learning Spanish before I actually get to Spain. And then I will probably do more videos when I'm actually in Spain and I'm continuing to improve my Spanish, but I will be in a school instead. For today's video, I've written some notes on my experiences and my advice for being a tutor on Italki. Pros, the cons of various different things, the pay, the students themselves, and just the overall experience, as well as some advice that I would give to people that are starting out. Say that I'm a new community tutor and I only teach or help people with their conversational practice. So if people want to improve, because a lot of the time a lot of students only focus on reading and writing, which I think happens in most schools, most institutions. They don't really help you with speaking, which I see as a common problem. Even I'm finding that myself with learning a language. So if you're interested in becoming an Italki tutor and you just wanted to know a little bit more about it, then this is the video for you. So I'll start with why I actually became a tutor in the first place. I believe I found out about Italki because I was watching various YouTubers learning Spanish, but they were also using Italki to teach. So I was looking at YouTubers videos called Shane Godliman, and he also lives in Southampton, and I was like, that's really cool. He's learning all these different languages as well as becoming a tutor. So I thought, okay, why not? Also, I wanted a little bit of extra money in my pocket for dealing with all this visa fees, and just so that I had a little bit of extra money for when I go to Spain. So I wanted to do something that was interesting to me and helping other people. So that is my reason for starting. I really have many expectations when actually becoming one. I didn't think anyone would actually book in, but I know that Italki was a lot easier to use based on all the videos that I was looking at. I did try another app called Preply and then also Cambly. I don't have a laptop at the moment, so I couldn't use Cambly because I don't actually have a laptop. And in terms of Preply, or however you say it, the issue that I found with them is that for every first lesson that you have or something with a student, you don't get paid for it. So you could be doing about 10 lessons with new people and you're not making any money. And for me, the purpose of Italki was the purpose of teaching was to help people and get money for it. I wasn't really there for volunteer work, and that's what it felt like with Preply. The reason why I only teach conversational. I don't think that I actually, at the moment, am capable of helping someone with English grammar because it's a bit complex, and I guess most people would say that about the language that is native to them. That they think that the grammar is quite complex, but I know that you can make a lot more money if you are teaching grammar because that takes a lot more time out of your day, and in terms of preparing lessons. So I will talk about my experience overall, the good and the bad. I will start with the good first. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I started getting booked up fairly quickly. And I think it's because I believe they push your profile within the first month of you actually joining the platform. I'm not sure where I heard that from. But I do think that is correct because nowadays it's slowing down quite a lot for me. I followed the advice of some people when they say don't book yourself up too much. Some people were opening their slots up for 24 hours. And yeah, it's mad. Lesson was with this woman who is an artist, and that was the perfect thing for me because the conversation flowed quite well, because at the time I don't think I really had any prompts for questions to ask. I know that within the Italki app itself, on Italki Classroom, there's this little prompt button where you can ask questions, which I think is really helpful. Having trial lessons is a perfect way to get lots of students in and get your ranking like quite high in the first place on the app, which I think is really good. Another pro is that the pay is quite quick. So what happens is after the lesson, a student will have an email, I believe, as well as on the actual app itself, it will say like action required, and then was the lesson completed, and then if there were any problems, the teacher or the student can put like what happened, which I'll get into that later when it's a con. And yeah, so the sooner that the student marks the lesson as completed, the quicker that you'll be paid. A lot of my students do that. Some of them are quite new, or maybe they just forget. But don't worry, because in, I believe it's 2 days after the lesson, it will just be marked as automatically completed by Italki themselves, which I am so grateful for. So yeah, the pay is pretty quick. They do take a little fee out of it, but it's not necessarily detrimental depending on how much you get paid. And I believe they don't take any sort of fee away from trial lessons. The part that I guess is slow is the actual pay being deposited into your account. For example, I believe it's the 1st of the month and the 10th. If you request a withdrawal, you will get paid at the end of that same month. The latest they'll give you the money is on the 25th or 26th. So now I know why people wait a lot more until they have a certain amount in their account. But I don't know, for some reason I was like, what if they don't pay me and I've done all of these lessons? But now I'm a lot more chill with it. Now we can get on to the cons. So one of the things that I've encountered, I guess a handful of times, is students not showing up and not telling you why they're not showing up. Now I believe that these were just for half-an-hour lessons. I'm not sure if they forgot. Sometimes I would message the students, and then after a while I was just thinking, if you've booked a lesson, surely you would show up. So I would wait. If someone's 5 minutes late, it's fair enough, but that's still on them. I will not then give them an extra bit of time because they're the ones that showed up late. It would be different if it were me. If I showed up late, I would be like, okay, let's make this lesson run on a bit longer so you get what you paid for. So students not showing up, how I deal with that is, at first I used to just stay on the actual app and then take screenshots like every 10 minutes to prove to Italki that I was there. But if it happens nowadays, I may take a screenshot, just one, and then afterwards, when it tells you how the lesson went, you can mark that there was a problem with the lesson, and it will give you a drop down menu, and you can say, oh, the student didn't attend, like this and this, and then I put in a description of what happened, and then I think you can actually add a picture or something, or I say that I have proof of it, just in case the student were to then reply to that claim. They can reply to the claims, and I think it can be a dispute, but that's never happened for me. It just gets cleared up straight away. Yeah, Italki is really good in the sense that when these problems do occur, they're very quick to fix it and favour in the teacher, on the teacher's side. Another con would be running out of students. I'm currently dealing with that now, and I may do an update in terms of how to counter that. At first, I guess my slots were open quite well as I think my profile was being pushed more because I was new. So that was last month. I believe I started on the 17th of May, and then up till now, it's been slow for about a week or two. I literally have 2 students coming up next. The next thing I'm going to talk about is students that don't speak. This is something that I found really difficult, and this is when I started writing prompts in my little notebook. I have a notebook for Italki, so I take notes in there of what students have said so that I can keep the conversation flowing, or if we're focusing on interview questions or something, I will just focus on areas that they're struggling with and then write it down in my book that it's for teaching. But yeah, students that don't speak, it is at first it is quite difficult to deal with, for me at least, because I'm thinking it could be two things. The person just doesn't like speaking in general, which fair enough. And the second one would be that they lack the vocabulary to say what they want, which that one I really feel for them, because that is me in my Spanish classes. Just keep trying to ask questions, ask them to elaborate on what they've said, and then maybe talk about my own experiences so then they can follow on and say something. But sometimes, occasionally, I do get the people that they'll answer a question and then they'll just say like, yep, like, yeah, oh yeah. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I wait a bit just so that they can possibly elaborate on what they've said. And when they don't, I just look at my prompts to ask some more questions to them about their hobbies, their careers. Someone did once say they didn't have any hobbies, so that was really difficult. So I just spoke to them about working life. So yeah, you have to be prepared for that. So I have a bunch of prompts for asking people about their hobbies, things that they're interested in, things that they maybe study at university. A lot of people are either around my age or older. I've only ever talked one person that was 15. That was kind of easy. We just spoke about school. So yeah, that was like a nice experience, teaching someone that was a lot younger than me. Just the sense that they lack vocabulary, I would ask them more basic questions. That one I'm actually glad for the challenge for, but there's only a certain extent, because I only offer conversational practice. Some people do come to me because they think that I'm going to teach them English, like from scratch, and that can be quite frustrating when you've spent time on your profile, saying that I teach this or I will help you with this. I cannot help you with this. I think I've kind of learned to know who these people are. Once someone books in a lesson with me, I send them a message saying, thank you for booking in with me. Just so you know, I only focus on conversational only, not grammar. And if you need me to prepare anything for the lesson, then let me know. And then most people reply, and that's how I know, okay. Some people don't reply, and then I think, okay, they are either busy or they don't care. They just wanted to book a tutor that was possibly cheaper. So then once the lesson starts, I do normally ask people like what their intentions are for the lesson, if they hadn't just replied to my original message, or I will ask them to elaborate on that. So I think always have some prompts with you. It doesn't matter who you're talking to. Obviously, I love when I have really talkative students. That is literally the best thing in the world. Something to keep in mind that not everyone is really talkative or has the vocabulary to keep a conversation going. So I think that's mainly what I wanted to speak about today. So my recap is essentially, be prepared if a student is, partially awkward or nervous, because over time, when they keep booking in with you, they'll get more comfortable with you. Don't get too discouraged if you don't end up having a lot of students, or it simmers down quite quickly, because that's something I'm dealing with, and I'm not sure if everyone is dealing with that. I know that a lot of people gain students from the videos that they make on Italki, so who knows. Also, I wanted to say, don't waste too much time on messaging people back. Obviously, always message back, but don't write too in depth. Keep it simple, because a lot of people, again, they might just want the cheaper option. I had someone message me and ask me, are these lessons free? No, they're not free. So keep that in mind. And I just said, no, the lessons are not free, and you will have to pay. I do offer trial lessons, and I just left it at that. I'm not going to try and chase students, because I think that's a bit creepy, and it's just better when they come to you. But do what you have to do in a non-pushy way. All in all, you'll only learn from doing it. So I would just say, do the whole process, because it is worth it. And I am really glad that I've actually joined the Italki community, because I it's made me a lot more interested in teaching. But yeah, so I hope that my video helped in some way. I do only just teach conversational English, so maybe you're someone that just wants to teach conversational as well and doesn't really want to focus on grammar, which is fine, or you might not be ready for it, which is the reason why I just teach conversational. And you can get a good steady flow of clients, of students. If you have any questions, then you can just leave them down below and I will either reply back to them or make a separate video elaborating on certain things that I have said in this one. So, bye!